Welcome to the Creative Brew, helping you keep your creative juices brewing. We're giving out chunks of insight, motivation, and practicality for your creative journey. My next partner is Elevate Coffee Trading, and if you appreciate specialty coffee, enjoy outdoor adventure, and love helping elevate the lives of children around the world, then you're going to love Elevate Coffee Trading. Their mission is to extract hope through love, coffee, and adventures. There's free shipping in the United States, and every bag of coffee helps sponsor health and education for children in coffee-producing countries and in areas of need in the United States. You can use promo code Elevate21 on your next order, and you can follow their journey on social media at Elevate Coffee Trading. Or you can visit online at elevatecoffeetrading.com, and let's start extracting hope together. And this episode is brought to you by Baba Coffee, smuggling good vibes. Baba roasts their coffee beans each week and only offers the freshest coffee. They have espressos, lattes, cappuccinos, pour over, or drip coffee. You can try their cold brew coffee, nitro cold brew, or bulletproof coffee, and boba milk teas. They also have a wide assortment of delicious food. I would suggest you try the avocado toast, mimosas, wine, or beer. On the weekends, you can check out some great music like the Soto Six and food like Eliza the Shelf and others over the weekend, every Friday and Saturday, beginning at 6 p.m. You can check out everything they got going on Facebook and Instagram at Baba Coffee. So welcome to a new episode of the Creative Brew, giving you insights on your creative journey. Hey, we're back. I hadn't been doing too many episodes, but I'm getting back to get to my regular schedule. So if you had a chance to check out episode 251, that just released out. But now, like I said, we got a new episode. And like I said, I'm privileged to be able to introduce this man. We met in Carlsbad, and along the way, sometimes you get a chance. That's why I love coffee shops, because normally you don't know who you're going to meet, and sometimes you intertwine with like souls and like-minded people. And like I said, I've been privileged to be able to meet him and then sort of see his journey. And now he's in Hawaii now, doing his thing. But like I said, I always sort of watch and see, where is it going? Where is it going? Without further ado, I'll give you Dr. E. This man has a radio station. He's got a book. We're going to deep dive today a little bit into some creativity, life, relationships. Like I said, I know he's had a very interesting story. And if you get the privilege to check out this episode, without further ado, I'm gonna give you Dr. E. So thank you for coming on to the show. And we'll get going here. Let's share your origin story.
Oh, shoot. The origin story. Well, first, let me just say congratulations to you, man, for hanging in there and doing your thing all these years. You know what I mean? Even when you don't feel like people are looking or viewing or liking or commenting, it's like you just keep going, man. And you keep bringing consistency with it. That's what I love. It's just like you look at your videos and I know exactly the consistent level, the theme, and what he's after. And I know I'm going to learn from other creatives. So that's what I appreciate about your podcast, man. And I'm grateful for it, because you're on the front line as well. You know what I mean? Like, you're actually on the front line doing the thing that's inspiring us to keep doing our thing, as you're inspired to keep doing your thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense, because I get comments all the time, because they'll be like, man, we love what you're doing with the podcast, promoting all these artists and creators, and then they don't realize I'm doing that too. I'm actual creator. They're like, wait a minute, what, you do this too? And you're so. For me, it's sort of amazing that how many creators don't support other creators. It's sort of weird, but like when they find out I can actually draw and design and create too, and I love promoting other people. I mean, that ain't nothing.
It's interesting. That's part of my origin story is about the whole creatives and the support. You know what I mean? Where as far as me feeling like the lack of support I had, and just how just alone it feels, and just how alone this journey of just life alone, but just also knowing I have a I have a passion to create something that's going to make a difference in humanity, it just feels alone, because it's like the people that you want to help, you know what I mean, or the people that you want to collaborate with seem like so much against. You know what I mean? I felt like it was there. Why are they against my mission? Until I learned that, and that goes into my professional and what I'm doing now. It's like my focus is burnout, trying to help others avoid burnout in their creative passions, in their professional careers, and in their personal lives. It's just all about avoiding burnout, and you do that by self-mastery. So I've taken this journey of personal development, learning about myself and everything that gets me going, and how to adjust when things don't go my way as a creative, because I wanted to rely on self. My whole theory is go within and you'll never go without. And that download came to me from after like moving from Carlsbad and just going through divorces, man. Like this is my fourth marriage, so I've had three previous divorces. And it's not about, who's right or wrong, or if it was bad or good. It was just about, wow, this is growth. As me, as a creative being, and as a man, and as what is my mission in life, I have to have that around me, that kind of support system. So in my relationships, it was just, I was conditioned to feel like, yeah, it's forever after, you know what I mean? Till sickness and hell, death do us part. But the thing about it is that you can't force that. I learned that I can't force that, and we graduate, universities and the classes and courses for a reason. When you've learned all you needed to learn at this level, you don't just hang around. Those guys are weird that hung around high school after they graduated like a year. I'm just like, bro, you just graduated. Why you still here, bro? Like, we doing this now. I hated that, because it's when all the cool, anyway. So it's like, it's kind of like that. And so I learned that I just have to let go, start to let go of these things that were no longer serving me. And what I learned is that when I got comfortable and normalized that life for me is about, the ebb and flow of like the ocean. Like I'm looking at the ocean right now. I'm like 20 feet from the ocean. And this is a life that I've manifested. You know what I mean? Still living paycheck to paycheck, and worrying about my bills, but yet I'm doing that in the place that brings me peace. You know what I mean? If I'm going to stress, or if I'm going to be homeless or divorced, which I was, all those things, I'm going to do it in a place that at least I can be content with. You know what I mean? So along with the creatives, as far as supporting from other creators, I learned that, man, we're so much in our own thing that it's not intentionally trying not to support, you know what I mean, or hate on the other creative. It's not that I don't want to collab. It's just that, holy crap, bro, I can't even like get a handle on my own stuff. So it comes off like, hey, don't mess with me. I don't want anyone around, or everyone's against me, but I'm really crying out for help. you know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a alongside, like I was saying about having other creatives understand that, like, yeah, I'm actually on this journey too, bro. Like I'm here to support you, but I need pouring into as well. So how can we make this win-win? And that's been my go-to thing right now. It's like, how can we make this win-win, in anything as far as creative. So
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I think you bring home some good points, because sometimes we can be so so into our own little bubble that
mm,
sometimes we can't create a larger awareness of like like how could I be of service to someone else, like
yeah,
um
yeah,
and at first it was, I mean, even starting out, I mean, as a creator, it was, for me, it was like unthinkable to be like, why would I promote someone else? Like, I'm trying to get started. I'm trying to do my own thing. Like, why would I?
right,
And the more that I've grown over the years, knowing that I've sort of figured out, not really figured out, I'm still learning, but I do know that the more that you give, that energy does recycle back in
yeah,
various ways, and not from a like, man, I'm gonna do this because I want this, but just
mm,
saying, what, I've like coming from the place like, look, I already have what I need, not to say, Lord, I would love to be some, running some large company and things one day. Yes, I mean, I do, I would want something like that. But at the
Mhm.
same time too, knowing, and really understanding and having that gratitude for, where I am right now.
Mhm.
The community that I've created through the podcast, building, still, working with clients and just different schools with my design work and everything.
Yeah.
Still coaching, and I'm like still active. I work out every day. Me and my wife, we just went to the walk on the beach this morning, had our coffee. We go to our little local coffee shops. We chat, talk about things. Sometimes we just get out there just to see the beach and the sun.
Right.
Like that, those are things like fills me up. Those are things like, hey, I've got what I need now. Now I'm able to give out to my athletes, to the creative community, to my clients. But that's what keeps me sort of fueled up every day, knowing that I'm in that process of like, okay, what can what can fuel me up? What things do I need to hear? What things do I need to learn? And
Yeah.
once I know I'm good to go, then that's where like, okay, no, I can come out as the best version of myself, at least for that day. But
And it's funny. Like, I love that you said that, because for me, I want to ask you, like, if you have this issue, it's like the things that are, I guess I want to say, like, the question is, like, would you prefer to do things that are meaningful to you, or the things that you're meant to do?
mm,
You know
that
what I mean?
yeah,
And
that's a good question. I've actually been pondering that a lot, and
me
I,
too.
I think for me, right now where I'm at, it's I think for just the things that's been on my mind and things that's happened over the past couple of years,
Uh,
I'm going for the things that I'm built for, the things that I'm meant to do.
okay.
For me, I call that I sort of refer to it. I'll talk to my athletes about it every once in a while, but I call it your great work. I feel like there's something that everyone is built for on this planet while you're here, and your mission, your quest is to figure that out
Yeah.
before you pass. And for me, there's something that I'm working on that I feel like this is my great work, and that's something that I'm leaning towards.
Mm,
And I know that I'm built for that. But I think right now I'm looking for things that that I'm meant to do, easy or hard.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like just the things that I've developed as a coach, as a creator, and a husband or granddad, I feel like there's things that I'm being built for that,
Yeah.
good or easy, I have to
Mm,
go that direction.
yeah. I think, man, to be honest with you, as a creative, and like being 46 now, right? And remembering when first coming into like the whole creative content world in 1985, when my dad brought home this big old, handheld Panasonic camcorder with the actual VHS tape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You carried around a VCR basically. And so I remember him bringing that home, and just him trying to figure it out. And I remember seeing my face on the monitor, the screen thing for the first time. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm doing the thing, because I love watching movies. Ever since I was 4 years old, that's how my mom kept me quiet. She was just like, man, put him in front of the TV, and that's it. You don't have to worry about me for days,
Yeah.
you know. And so I just remember feeling like, man, I want to be in that box. You know what I mean? Like, I love stories. I love how I just want to be in that box. And so when he brought that camcorder home and was filming me I was doing something goofy just in front of it, and played it back, it just dawned on me. For some reason it clicked, like, oh, I can do that now. I actually saw the people in the box and the TV having fun, and now look at me. I'm doing it. And so I just knew, like, from then on, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create, I wanted to tell stories, you know what I mean? And but I wanted it to be like truthful and authentic. I didn't want to like perform, and do the
Yeah.
song and dance thing, even though that's entertaining, but I wanted to entertain. You know what I mean? I want the inner parts of people to be touched with my creativity. So that's just been like the journey. I think that led me into like with the personal development stuff and obtain basically getting my doctorates in human services and working with in mental health, because it kept me connected to truth. You know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna help people and I want to do something meaningful in life, then what's more meaningful than like touching someone's heart,
Yeah.
whether it's through creativity or through just counseling, you know. Excuse me. And so that's kind of been my journey, has been find trying to find the easefulness and doing the things that I'm meant to do, which I feel like is healing and helping others and helping others, become self-mastered and really learn about themselves and what their triggers are and passions are and all that stuff, have be their own case study. So that's like what I'm meant to do. But the things that are meaningful to me, like creating content, you know what I mean? Videos and music and just telling stories, like all the things you're doing, talking with people, going to everyday stuff. I remember, like, I don't mean to go on a tangent, but
No, that's all right.
um, I just remember Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Remember Mr. Rogers'
Yep.
Neighborhood, and just the whole thing about it for me was, not only was it educational, of course, but I just love watching this man's day.
Yeah.
Like, this guy has the coolest day ever. He, like, wherever he's coming home from, like, was he coming home from work or going? Like, it was weird. So he comes home and gets relaxed. Where you been all night? First of all, he's like coming home, he gets relaxed, changes, and just freaking just goes into this whole like community, build up thing, and just messages all over the place. And I mean, it was just fascinating. And then at the end of the day, he changes back and he's leaving again. Like, where are you going? But it's like watching his day. It's like he comes into my life, has an impact, and then boom, he's off. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's kind of what I want to do with my stories or with things that I create. Because I know this stuff isn't like permanent, you know what I mean? But I gotta have enough in there so that it touches their heart. Like, I just come in and boom, they're changed, and they get to decide whether to maintain that and sustain it, like whatever changes were made. And they get to have the choice of saying, like, you know what, this blessed me, so I want to continue this process, or in one ear out the other, you know.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
just wanted to give them the opportunity. That's what I want to do with my creativity. Give people the opportunity to choose, how they want to show up in life, basically.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, I think as I think as creators, we feel like, we want to make an impact, or we want someone visually, or through audio, or through the written word. Like, we want to create that impact. We want them to sort of connect emotionally with what we're trying to put out. And for some people, it connects, and for other people, it's just like, okay, it's one ear going out the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for creators, it's like, it's not our job to decide who connects with us. I feel like everyone does have their audience. People do resonate with specific people at specific times,
That's
for whatever reason. And I feel like there's always an audience for everyone. Your job is just to keep creating. That is something that the God, the universe blessed you with. And that's something that you're, through hardships and through your own actual skills, you've been able to develop and story tell and connect with others in a way that only you can do it.
right.
So
Right.
yeah, it's for us, for creators, it's our job it's just to you know create from the heart, create what we're supposed to be doing on this planet, from a place of love and authenticity. And whoever decides to take it in, it'll be up to them. Hopefully they'll be the fortunate ones that take in your words and
Mm-hmm.
take in the things that you're trying to communicate. But
Mm.
yeah, I think I've gotten used to now, and I think honestly, I think wrestling, just being in sports, sort of helped me out.
Okay.
Just being first of all being consistent. Second of all, just having some thick skin, and knowing that like not everyone's gonna like love my podcast. Not everyone's gonna love every design or every piece of artwork that I put out.
Yeah.
My job is just to keep creating. That is it.
Do you think because this is something I run into as well as far as when it comes to audience, right? And when I say about creating, doing the things that are meaningful to me, meaning like creating things that are around the things that are meaningful to me versus what I'm just meant to create.
Mhm.
And so my question is like, so when I think about that in terms of like audience and burnout, because I went through this where I'm just creating and being consistent, right? Doing the model of like constantly low key in that mindset of hustle, right? Grinding, got to stay on it. But then I started realizing like, well, I'm really good and disciplined at constantly creating, but then it's like, well, where's it going? You know what I mean? Like whose ears is it actually landing on? Because I found myself starting to create based on, the number of likes or engagement. So it's like, oh, they like this funny stuff. So let me do more funny stuff. And then it's like, oh man, that engagement dropped. And then I'll do something serious, you know what I mean, where I'm sharing my personal trauma or something, and it's like the engagement goes up. So I'm like, oh shoots, let me share more, let me make it a whole dramatic thing. And then it's like the question, or like I guess where it's at and where I found myself, it's like when do I actually, decide if I'm gonna like pick a lane or pick an audience and I'm gonna only focus on them, or do I just create? Because what I found is that when I'm just creating, I'm also creating more challenges for myself if I'm not focused on, my content and the audience, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, I think that's going to be up to really up to the person. I mean, I know for me, I try to I tell people I tend to be a mad scientist at times, and I love to experiment. So I'm
Yeah.
constantly like doing all kinds of different things, and I'm
Yeah.
even looking for, I don't even like look at the numbers per se. Like, oh man, like this is I got this engagement. Maybe I need to focus towards this. Is like I
Yeah.
love creating that content and whatever I get. I mean, I got some posts that I may get, you know, maybe 300 views, and
Hmm.
then I'll post something. It could be a not really a random post, but something that probably been on my heart for a while, and create a post around that and get 1,800 views. And it's
Yeah.
just one of those where like either way, I think for me it's just a process of just like being consistent and just creating that content. And
Mhm.
now I think now personally for me, I do have like specific lanes at times. I'm always like I love entrepreneurship. I love creativity. Design. I'm really big into like just spirituality. I mean honestly, I mean I'm a huge comic book geek. I love sci-fi.
Mhm.
So I tend to roam around those lanes, and I don't know. I almost refer back to my granddad, and which he's probably the one that caused the chaos as far as how I do things now. But he was a he was actually used to do like community gardens when I was younger, and I used to help him. I used to be his little assistant back in
Okay.
Tennessee, and he would show me how to plant seeds, how to till the soil,
Right on.
knowing how to be patient, how to keep nurturing it. And I think
Yeah.
for me, it's just one of those like I just love planting things all over, and then
Mhm.
see just nurture it, see what it does. Now, yes, it does come with challenges,
Mhm.
but I think the way that I am, I think I don't know. I may be built for that. I don't know. I think I'm just used to like being able to manage like a bunch of different things. Now, ideally, yes, I would love to be able to, focus my time towards like just creating and have people that can do that. But until then, I mean, I'm generally pretty good about managing. Now, sometimes I do get in trouble with that too as well. But at the
Where does
same
the trouble come from? Just managing
yeah,
when
I think
I
just
ask
spreading.
to manage.
I think spreading my energy out too much.
Uh,
I am. I think right now I am focused on trying to, get some more assistance or getting some people that can help me out. But
Yeah.
I think for me, it's just one of those that I love seeing like the process of growth, and I'll plan it. It could be some words to an athlete or
Hmm.
developing an athlete. It can be, maybe building up the podcast, or it could be. I mean, honestly, I've given advice to people on this podcast that have ended up like doing some incredible things.
Hmm.
And like I enjoy just like watching the process. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I won't even like everything that they're doing, but I just watch and observe
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
see what they're doing. And I do that with like, all the people that I'm connected with. Like I see where their journeys progressed.
Hmm.
When we from where we actually connected and where they are now.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't know. I think just one of those I enjoy seeing those seeds sprout up everywhere.
Yeah.
And
And is it fulfilling for you? And this, I'm asking myself this too, because I found myself going from a place of like creator, like the artist, like the guy in front and the artist, right? That's the weirdo, that's creative process and creating the thing. I was that guy, and then it's just like it kind of flipped where it's like I became more passionate about supporting a guy like that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Where it's just like, 'cause I remember those times of like just not having money to get the program that I would need to do the proper editing. You know what I mean? And so having to go the long way where it's like searching for like where the trials at. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Which where is Final Cut? Oh man, calling my boy, hey, Final Cut Pro, they got a 14-day trial, bro. Let's, you know what I mean? Download it and like it's edit as much as we can. Because I knew I wasn't gonna have the 29.99 or whatever $100 it was to
yeah.
keep for the next month. So I would already have in my mind, like, man, I gotta create something and I got 2 weeks to do it. So I was hustling in that sense. And now I'm finding myself where it's just like I don't want to like help creators uh learn how to hustle and without doing what they can. I want to be able to be in a position where I can say, man, these are the here's a program, here's a process that you can do, and here's the support you need to do it. You know what I mean? All
Yeah.
you got to do is have the buy-in to believe in yourself and commit to it. And then we grow from there, because I think nowadays it's a beautiful time to have community and collaboration and creativity. You know what I mean? Almost like just how I felt like when I was in the 80s growing up. It just seemed like around every corner somebody was doing something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like we can all, and you come around, and if you can do the skill, you had a skill that they needed, it's like, bro, you're part of it. Let's all create this crazy bike ramp. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
we all bust our knees and then get hurt on. It's like, oh man, he got like 3 barrels. We could put the box on the barrel. It's like, oh
Oh,
man,
yeah.
crazy.
You used to get creative when we was little.
But I feel like that's where we're at now. Is like if I think more creatives are like looking at the fact that it's like, you know what, I maybe I've done all I could with this piece, and maybe I actually need, you know, Quintel, someone else to just, he's great at this part. Why can't I just ask? Or why can't, let's just see if this puzzle piece works. Like there's no more competition. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think that's what I'm saying is like it's never been competition. It's just been creators creating competition. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like we've created competition amongst each other because we're having a hard time doing the thing that we're trying to do. And maybe we just need to ask another creator for some help.
Oh
And
yeah.
that becomes a team. You know what I mean? But it's like that goes into like my where I'm at now. Just to show you where I'm at now. This is why I talk more about and got my doctorate in just in human services and masculinity, and helping men like be able to just open up and be self-mastered so they can feel safe enough to say, hey bro, I need some help, or hey bro, I can help you with this. And it's not even nothing, you know what I mean? But it's because I have to deal with my own stuff. And that's where that burnout comes out, because if we're always dishing out and helping and giving and supporting and providing and all this, but we're not taking care of ourselves, So that's why I loved you saying, even in all that you do, you found time to freaking go to the beach with your wife and have some coffee. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? That's like, yes, that's what you work hard for. It's
Yeah.
so that you can still do that. It's like, man, I may not be making millions or what I need, and I know I'm lacking a lot, but I'm disciplining myself to take care of self because I know that when I'm good, I can be a solid foundation to adjust when contrast happens and when challenges come. It's like I'll have a solid ground, which is taking my God time. Like for me, it's in the morning, between 4 and 6. Like that's my God time. And I love it, and that's never changed for like 20, 30 years, So um yeah, it's just having that foundation and that support, within self. And so that's my whole thing. It's finding nuances and things that will support me, what I mean, just in every moment. If I could just own the moment, you know what I mean? I don't want
Yeah.
to seize the day yet or complete the mission plan, but if I can own this moment, within this process, then I'm doing all right,
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I mean, I think even now, I mean, with with the economy and just things going on in the world, I that's something I have told a lot of really a lot of my athletes, between I've been coaching at junior college with Palomar College down here, and then like I said, coaching adult wrestlers and fighters at another gym, and
Mm-hmm.
definitely the concept of masculinity, knowing
Mm-hmm.
when to ask for help, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and being I guess being willing to let those guards down. So there's things that in my specifically my practices with my adult wrestlers and fighters that I'll do in practice to help them to sort of let those walls down. And
Yeah.
then once that happens, now they're able to, connect and talk. So yeah, I'll run them through sometimes a hard practice just for them to be able to like relax and say,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I start talking to them and I'll ask them questions, then they can talk and connect instead of feeling like they're, so resistant or they don't want to say anything because they're too tired to, for those walls are down now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a it could be a really a process, and especially with the things like you're doing. I mean, with masculinity and helping men heal. I mean, those are things where I think once men can do that, when they feel like they're safe enough to be like, you know what, I can be strong and at the same time, you know, ask for help too.
Yeah.
Uh, or, send out a text and say, hey, look, I've been thinking about you. Hey, I love you. Let me know if you need anything.
Yeah. And
Actually
and
get that.
and and, and my thing is too is it's actually it's saying, those principles or those approaches are there for a reason, right? It's conditioning. You know what I mean? Somebody told me to be tough. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And they told me that consistently, so therefore I'm tough. But what if somebody told me that, vulnerability is also a trait of toughness? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
therefore, when you don't have to be a hard ass all the time and be a tough guy, you know what I mean? But you can be tough in handling tough situations, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Emotionally and mentally and spiritually. So it's such a that's why self mastery, and I talk a lot about self mastery, is because I'll be able to show up in a moment where, let's just say you give me a look and like my knee jerk reaction because of conditioning is to like, oh, he's trying to challenge me.
yeah,
So now I got to be tough. Like that's my knee jerk reaction. But a self mastered man will pause. He'll say, yeah, that's a knee jerk reaction. But is that true? It may be true as a reaction, but is that really the truth? Is he really challenging me? You know what I mean? Like I can ask myself, like, is he so? And if I say, yeah, he's challenging me, then guess what I do? I say, well, how do you know? Let's prove it. Because if we're gonna kick some ass, then let's have a good reason.
yeah,
And 9 times, 10 times out of 10, there's no reason to even get into an altercation because it's all within me. I'm triggered because that's how I was treated 20 years ago. So
Yeah.
now you reminded me of that moment that was in the past and long gone, and this is a brand new moment. And it turns out you weren't even looking at me. You were looking at something else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the nuance of like healing, and just and why I learned how to self-master my emotions, and as a man, because I was getting mixed messages. I was getting the message of like, hey, to be a man is to be your own man, and to make your own decisions. But yet when I try to do that, you criticize it, and you attack it, and you tell me that this isn't being a man because I'm making this decision. So therefore I'm confused now, you know. And by the grace of God, it just took learning how to go within, and then just say, okay, well, I surrender, because everyone's telling me to be this and that, and I'm exhausted. I'm burnt out. I can't even do the things that I love to do because I'm trying to please everyone. You know what I mean? I'm trying to please coach, or my dad, or my mom, or my wife, or my boss. I'm like, it's called imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
That's a big thing for men. I talk about that in my dissertation, where imposter syndrome is when we have this image of how we're supposed to show up. And if there's any inkling of that not happening, then we are just, it's suicide. You know what I mean? We commit we self-sabotage because we're not owning up to this idea that we don't even know where it came from.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, man. A lot of this stuff is
I
just
have
it's
no
just
money. I have no money, but yet I'm supposed to provide. So I'm gonna go crazy trying to provide, but yet I have no access to anything. And it just doesn't make sense,
yeah. It is a rat race of the mind. It's
There it is.
yeah, it does cause you to. I mean, I think the more that I do a lot of I do a lot of growth and self-discovery, the more I keep asking more questions. I mean, it could be about, just where I am right now, about life, about, God. I mean, everything, but it does, like, the more that you start to question things, I think that's where, openings and growth happens. Is like, what, like, why am I, like, it could be like, yeah, why am I acting this way? Like, am I am I, you know, if I'm a good friend, like, am I actually jealous of this person, or like,
Yeah.
or am I, trying to self-sabotage myself, or am I trying to sabotage others?
Yeah.
It's one of those where it does cause you to constantly sort of observe and ask those questions, get feedback,
Hmm.
inner feedback. Sometimes it's just like sitting down. Like, I know there's been times where I've gotten had something that, normally I'm a pretty laid back person, and I've had some things that sort of just irk me, every once in a while, and I'll have to sit down and I'm like, okay, why did that, like, why did I react like that?
Yeah.
I was like, was it the situation, or was it like just everything else? Maybe I'm thinking about other things and I'm just irritated and I lashed out at somebody. Those are the things that cause you. And I think when you can sit back and sort of like reassess and become self-aware,
Mm.
like, okay, oh, this is why I did this. Now you can go back and say, okay, next time. And I'm not gonna say I'm not perfect. I tell people I do one dumb thing every day. And it's just one of those where, like, it keeps me seriously unserious, knowing that I actually heard that from Mel Robbins not too long ago. And just someone that, like, I can focus and do my creative work and do the things that I'm meant to do. And yeah, sometimes I forget to wash the dishes. Sometimes I don't clean the house. And sometimes my desk is a mess. It is what it is sometimes. It's like just understanding, like, you laugh at it, you understand, what it is. Not to say you don't, you don't want to be your harshest critic, but just understand, like, you're a work in progress always.
I love that, and what I implemented in my life, and want to share with you and everyone watching, because this is a huge tip for creatives. You know what I mean? And it has to do with, it's two things. It has to do with this agenda. Uh, when I recognize, like how you said, like asking myself the question of like, man, why am I triggered? Is it jealousy, or is it something else? Like, what is this? And when I started to do that, I started to see, like, yeah, I constantly have an agenda. Like, I constantly have an agenda. But what I had to do is I learned that that is not a bad thing. because when I look at the intention of my heart, if my intention, which it always is to bring us closer and to connect, right, and to grow. So my intention is always that. So now I got to look at, why is there disconnect here? Oh, my agenda was because in order for us to connect, it has to be done this way. And since they said no, it's not done this way, so therefore there's a disconnect. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's a humbling, honest look for a creative, because this is what happens. And this is what happened to me, is that I started to find that, man, I'm putting my best effort in creating this video and no one liked it. Well, see how the agenda played into that? It's like now I'm creating the video for likes versus creating the video because it's meaningful.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, it's crazy, man. And so I'm learning how to just be like, to be seriously unserious, like in this whole thing. It's just like, just seriously be unserious, because that's what it is. It's a process, it's an experiment, and you do it several times until you find the one that feels nice and cozy for you. And when that approach is nice and cozy for you, you'll know how to like address it and adjust if you're really trying to connect with someone. It's kind of like when an athlete learns like how to do your first layup, you know what I mean? Dribble, bounce, you know what I mean? And then hit the backboard, and like very basics. But when you've done that for 12 years and now you're LeBron James or Michael Jordan or Quintal, you know what I mean, out there on the court, it's just like you can, you playing around with the layup. You're still doing a basic layup, but now you're just like, you know what I mean? It's like, where's all that coming from? It just came from repetition of just being comfortable in like this process. And that's what I'm asking creators to now do, is just like eat like those mess ups. And when we say, oh, it's okay to mess up because I'm human and it's like, wait a minute, celebrate that. That's because now you're aware of something, you know what I mean? Because that's going to constantly happen. So right now, train yourself to be okay with mess ups constantly happening. Make it to where it's just like, oh, when you have that revelation of like, man, you know what, she was right, I should have just approached it this way, and I responded with an attitude. It's like, before I go apologize and make things right with them, let me make it right with me, and let me say, good job, Eman'on, bro. You found that. You know what I mean? Reward yourself. Go smoke a joint, or eat a Snicker bar. You know what I mean? Or go for a beat, whatever. I know you know what I mean? I know the things that celebrate me. And it's like, I tell my wife all this, we talk about this, and I say it's about those small victories, making sure you're your biggest cheerleader over those small victories. Because cheerleaders, they're out there when the team sucks for the last 3 years, and never won a game, but they're still out there. Go team, go. It's just like, we got to be that to ourselves.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I know. Definitely have to point on that because I know there's I mean, even I know I sort of make it a fact. Sometimes I'll look in the mirror and I actually told my athletes to start doing this more.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, look, flex in the mirror, like
That's
celebrate
good.
yourself.
Yeah.
And I know there's been some science backed up with the more that you actually flex your muscles, that actually releases the feel good chemicals in your body. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was telling them that I was like, I mean, I think sometimes uh you know we just we're just not our number one fan.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to urge that in my classes. Like, hey, like be your number one fan first. Like root yourself on. Like tell
Yeah.
yourself you're great.
Yeah.
This is like we used to believe that actually we didn't even need that kind of validation when we was a kid. Like we always knew like, hey, we can do whatever we want to,
Yeah.
and society and the world environment sort of tells us different, and we believe more on those externals than we do on our you know as far as what we actually believe for ourselves. And slowly but surely that light sort of gets diminished.
Yeah.
And but I want people to sort of bring that back, and that's my job as a coach. That's maybe my job, as a podcaster and a communicator, is like is to bring that light back, like shine on, and I'll be the first one to hold you up. I mean, the sun don't care if whoever gets the light, whoever gets it gets it.
Yes.
It just shines. So
It'd be interesting. I don't know, because I used to coach too, man. That's one of the things I love about just like that you're a coach and a creator, man. That's like that's a triple, quadruple threat, man, because you get to inspire and you get to actually develop, you know what I mean, an approach and live. It's like being on stage and doing theater. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's you're live and in the moment. But it'd be interesting to ask your athletes how what's their definition of a coach, and like, you know, and what's their expectation of you. And the reason why I say that is because as a creator, that's kind of, that's scary for me. Like I'm starting to learn how to ask for feedback and start to ask like my target audience, like, hey, what would you actually like to see? You know
yeah,
what I mean? But I haven't been doing much creative stuff yet, because this is a new comfort level that I'm moving into, because I never asked them. I said, hey, this is what lights me up, and you know what I mean, I'm gonna make
yeah.
it. But now I'm just like, you know, hey, they're subscribed and they're following me, so shouldn't they have a voice? Shouldn't
That's
they
true.
have so, and like what they're gonna watch when they come to my channel? So that's been just a very um it's been empowering and inspiring, but it's sensitive, man. It's
Yeah,
sensitive because, like you said, like we're these critics, you know what I mean? And if I'm already kicking myself in the balls, you know what I mean? I'm scared to put it out there so someone else can kick it. You know what I mean? It's like, whew, I don't know, you know, but that'd be interesting, because I hated seeing for myself having so much passion, and I don't want to take up too. Let me know, you know, when we need to stop and all that
all right.
stuff. But I'll keep going. I'll keep talking. But one of the things I wanted to say is that I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't overexerting myself and trying to please the audience and try to please people who looked at my content. But there has to be a balance, you know. And that was that thing that I found, like I feel like I am more motivated now to create content that models and kind of like gives advice on how to avoid getting burnt out and doing the things that you are that lights you up. You know what I mean? I want to really show how we can monetize our passions, you know, and that's one of the pillars in MenHeal, in my nonprofit, which is mindfulness, movement, and monetizing. Those are the three pillars that I feel like every man, if they can be solid in those three pillars, man, they can have the life that they want, you know, to be mindful of like who they are and what they want in life and how to just be balanced, have movement. That's the physical activity and exercise and taking care of body, and monetizing, you know what I mean? Providing and being a protector and all this. So it's like those three pillars. Let me just figure out a life that fits in that. You know what I mean? Because whatever you choose to do is gonna fit in one of those pillars. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're gonna be moving your body. You're gonna be making some money, or you're gonna be thinking about something.
yeah. Yep, that's the truth.
Yeah.
So, but you know, before we sign off, well, let's say it's been an incredible episode. You know, what would you tell, you know, if you had the ability, had the powers? I'm going back. This is my comic book sci-fi theme here. If you had the ability to go back and maybe talk to your younger self, what are those words you would tell them that
Yeah.
you know, yeah, well, yeah, would be those words you tell your younger self?
Yeah, that's I think about that all the time, and it's be patient. Just be patient. This takes a very long time, and to go within. You'll never go without. If you go within, you'll never go without, because all the answers are there. You know what I mean? The all the questions are there. You know what I mean? And so that's just my biggest, yeah, my biggest thing. It's just like I posted today on I got a download today, and I posted it on TikTok, where it was like what did it say? Hang around more answers versus problems. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Just like start, like, even with people, environments, like hang around places that are the answer to things versus problems.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
It's so comfortable to hang around problems. It's
that's
so
so
comfortable.
exactly.
It's so
Them problems know how to party, man.
Yeah, and they have the perfect couch. So words of wisdom, before we sign off, like what are some words of wisdom that that you can share that would resonate with our listeners?
Mm. Yeah, words of wisdom like take a self-mastery. It's two words. Well, one word. Self-mastery. Um, that's all. Self-mastery. I think that when a person is self-mastered, you show up differently. You really do show up differently, and the world, like everything around you, will begin to flow and fit into that level of frequency. And that's really, again, it's the answers and the problems thing. Even I know the problems have the best couch and they throw the best parties, but I know at the end of the day, you know what I mean, problems go home with me and I can't sleep. And that's a
Mhm.
problem.
Yep.
So I found the answer to that, which is avoid those places, or face them head on. You know what I mean? When there's a fear and when there's disrespect, and it's just like, oh man, well, hey, I felt that was disrespectful. Here's why. My dad used to talk to me like that, or this. I mean, you could give whatever context you want, but it really is about just the more I know myself, the less problems are around.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, the more you know yourself, the more you become self-mastered, the less problems will show up in your life. You'll be around more answers than problems. So,
I like that. Like that.
Matt,
And,
yeah.
and then yeah, then how can people reach out to you? Like what's the best way of connecting with you and your program, everything
Yeah,
you got going on?
that's a good, no, it's a great question because I keep changing everything, my contacts and my socials. But one thing that's consistent is my website, emanonwanderer.com. And that's a whole nother thing. We didn't even go to the name change thing because you met me as Nate, and now I'm Eman'on. So that's a whole nother journey. But yeah, emanonwanderer.com. I'm a published author now, man, of 3 books now. And so I'm excited about that. They're on my website. They're on Amazon as well. And I'm just real quick for any creatives who want to collaborate, even you. It's like I am really, really interested in building something, or not even building it, but just putting together this. Remember the Transformers?
Yeah.
How when it all came together and made, what is it, Megatron or whatever?
Well, you had some of them now. Because I'm a big Transformers fan. So you had you had actually the Decepticons. They when they formed,
They
you
were
had
the bad ones, right?
they turned into Devastator. So it was like a big huge giant robot. But uh
Okay.
the Autobots, they had their own sort of little group that changed into a larger robot. But yeah, Devastator. That used to be my favorite one. But
Okay. That's what I was going for that. I'm interested in doing that, where it's like we all bring our parts and come together, man, and just figure something out, man. Because I want to do films. Yes, it's so much, man. And I think as far as creative wise, I'm becoming more comfortable in saying, like, again, instead of being the guy in front and being that creator, it's now more so creating something for the guy that is coming up and wanting to be the creator. Like, cause that's a hard life, man. When you don't got nobody got your back.
yeah,
Many student films and many $99 Tree event. Like, it's tough, man. But I don't think it has to be that challenging if we all kind of, somebody come together or something. So
yeah, I hear that. I hear that. So yeah, I mean that's it. This is for listeners. So this has been an awesome episode. So you get a chance to check this out. This will be on YouTube, full episode on my
okay.
YouTube page at Quantel Langford, and then podcast form. It'll be on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts. So and I'll have snippets all over between LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook. So be sure to check out this episode. Also, special thanks to my main sponsors, Resonant Sciences. It is actually a aerotech. They're a technology company in the aerospace industry. based in Dayton, Ohio. So they've been a great main sponsor for the show. They're sort of a mix between creativity and engineering. So they're always looking to disrupt convention. If you're interested to see what they have in store, go to resonantsciences.com, and they're actually hiring. So they're looking for engineers and all kinds of people within the aerospace um, industry. So check that out, resonantsciences.com, and that is a main sponsor for the show. Also, you have Elevate Coffee Trading, extracting hope with every drop. That's based in Dallas, Texas. So their mission is to provide their mission is to provide great tasting coffee all over Dallas, but a lot of their profits help with areas of need in Dallas, Texas area, as well as in coffee producing countries like Guatemala. So check them out at Elevate Coffee Trading. So that's another sponsor. And then you have Baba Coffee. Both of us know Bob.
Yes,
And so that based in Carlsbad, California, and they've been a huge sponsor for the show for the last couple of years now. So smuggling good vibes, good coffee. They've got music on the weekends, food. They got their new event space. So they're always doing yoga, sound healing. They got music up there. Or if you want to rent the space out, please let them know. So you can check them out at Baba Coffee. So those are some of my main sponsors for the show. And then if you want to support this episode as well as future episodes, go to www.buymeacoffee.com. And I'm trying to develop more of a membership page for that. Still creating some back end content for that. But if you want to be a supporter, for the price of a cup of coffee, you can help support this episode as well as future episodes. So go to www.buymeacoffee.com/the creative brew, and you can check it out. So that's what I got. So thank you for coming on to the show. Always appreciative. And once again, this is the Creative Brew. Be creative, stay inspired.
Really nothing else. I was start smoking weed, yo, cause nothing helps. Called the homie up, told him loot the sample up. We gotta come together now, cause I had enough. The time is now, there'll never be another one. It's a SOUNDCLOUD time.